Hey, good afternoon, folks. Jabin Crow here, doing another book review today. Enjoying this fine Sunday weather that we're having here, and really just kind of relaxing, letting some of this light into my apartment for a change. We're getting that nice cooler weather, and it's really just a treat here. So, before we get into everything, again, please, folks, hit that like button and that subscribe button down below. If you like the content of my channel here, please give me some suggestions. Likes, dislikes, leave me any kind of feedback. I totally appreciate that entirely. All right. Also, I will end up having a description to Luciferian Apotheca down below in the as well, in case if you want to check out that website for any of your reading material or ritual items that you may be needing in any future practices. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. And the book for discussion today is going to be Apotheosis. Oops, we'll go this way. By Michael W. Ford. This is the ultimate beginner's guide to Luciferianism and the left-hand path. Let me just start out by saying that this book has been a bit influential for me these past few weeks. I did pick this up off Amazon.com, and I believe the going rate is $23.99 plus shipping. Okay, there is a digital download copy to this if you are interested. Not certain how much that is, but if you have Kindle Unlimited or are into buying the digital copies of your books, you might want to check it out. So the book gives explanation to Luciferian philosophy as well as similarities and differences to traditions such as Satanism. And one of the key points of the book is to help one gain knowledge and insights into opening gateways, providing them with wisdom, personal power, and talking about other forbidden topics that are, generally frowned upon by society or other mainstream religions. Now, as many of you know, I've spent many years practicing ritual magic and chaos magic, and in the last year, I've gradually been making a switch to the left-hand path for reasons which are my own, and some of those simply are being that I seem to connect myself more with some of the Luciferian principles nowadays as opposed to in the past. So, as I was purchasing this book, or before I purchased this book, one of the things I like to do is read the reviews by people that have purchased this book in the past, and they're giving their feedback. And one review kind of stuck out to me. And this person, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase what this person is saying. And they're saying that, well, Ford is always writing books with the same material, geared for beginners. Why doesn't he write a book that's a continuation of this book? And I assume that what he's trying to say is, why aren't you writing more books for people that are intermediates, or why aren't you giving us more advanced material or something like that? Well, this book, Apotheosis, is really one of three of the books that I'm aware of, and I know that he's written dozens of books as well as some musical compositions as well. And again, you can check that out at luciferianapotheca.com, and again, the link is below in the description there. Check it out when we're done here. And but he does bring some new material to this book. Okay, he does bring new material here, and I assume that this person is probably referring to books like Bible of the Adversary, which, by the way, is in its 10th anniversary right now. And my understanding is that Ford has done some revision to that book and has added some new material to that book. So if you don't have that, you might want to go to Amazon.com and check that out as well, or go to his website, Luciferianapotheca.com, and check it out there. Okay. The other book I believe that they might be referring to is a beginner's guide to Luciferian magic, or beginning Luciferian magic. All these books talk about Luciferian philosophy, and the 11 points of Luciferian philosophy, as well as the importance of other things such as practicing ritual magic and whatnot. But in Apotheosis, the one thing that interested me as a practitioner of magic was, he says, in the description on the back of the book, it says, learn how to summon and incarnate your demon. Okay, well, that was kind of something interesting for me. That's other than needing the material or wanting the material to learn more about Luciferianism. That kind of brought me my attention to this book. So that was one of my personal reasons for getting this book. It may not be for you. Something else might draw you to the book. Who knows? But he does discuss the importance of and reasons for practicing ritual magic as a Luciferian. And some of those just include personal growth, experience, exaltation, and most importantly, liberation. Okay, as Luciferians, we don't like to be tied down to too many things, especially such as dogma. So liberation and illumination aids the Luciferian into achieving the state of apotheosis, which means becoming a god. Okay, now for those of us who have practiced things like ritual magic and ceremonial magic, we've heard this phrase before, becoming a god, or more specifically, to become the god of your universe. Okay, you create your universe, and we do this in ritual magic and ceremonial magic, and other people that do this actually. Before I jump into that, when you do this, when you create your universe, you're changing your universe or your world or your surroundings, okay? And this is in conformity with your true will. If you don't want something to be one way and you choose for it to be something else, you make that change. You create that through your will, okay? And as I was going to say before I cut myself off, I was going to say that other people that practice something similar to this are people who practice law of attraction. And they are taught, the same principle as well, in just a more simplified, watered down method. And, in a sense, they are performing a form of oversimplified magic. And I've already done a short video on this where I said, hey, if you practice the law of attraction, you're practicing chaos magic, and I've explained the similarities between the two. And I know that some people probably are finding that a little hard to swallow. But again, that's my opinion, and that's why I did a video on that. So just go ahead and continue. However, not all of the people that practice the law of attraction understand that what they're doing is really just a simplified version of ritual magic or even chaos magic, okay? And, And that's why some of these people that practice law of attraction have a hard time with it. I mean, after all, practicing things like chaos magic and ritual magic, it's not easy to begin with. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And there is truth to the idea that we all have this ability to create our own personal world to conform with our true will. But as I said, it's not an easy process. That's why not everyone's practicing magic. That's why not everybody does the same thing. Not everyone's a restaurant manager. Not everyone's a police officer. Not everyone's wired the same way. So one of the other reasons why I feel that not everyone can do this, or why some people have difficulty with the law of attraction, particularly in this situation, is that I believe that these people haven't been liberated. Okay, they haven't liberated themselves. They haven't freed themselves from, in a sense, really, or figuratively, the shackles that society and popular mainstream and monotheistic religions have placed upon them, and this is placed on our society as a whole. And Christianity has done this as a whole on our society, and they said, I dare to say that Christianity is actually a poison to our society in itself. It doesn't look to free the individual. Okay, it looks to control the individual, mostly through fear. Okay, it constantly calls you a sinner. Hey, you're a sinner. You have immoral tendencies. The religious doctrine keeps society drowned in ignorance and restricts the individual through dogma and keeps you subservient and afraid. Okay, so Christianity doesn't do anything to free you. It restricts you. Okay, and I think that's one of the reasons why some people have a problem with doing things like the law of attraction, for instance, is that they still have this shackle that binds them. Somewhere deep down in their psyche, they feel that what they're doing is wrong. They're involved in the law of attraction, and they mean well. They want to really change their world and to conform to their true will, and they really want to manifest things, but they just can't, because and they don't understand why that this is on a subconscious level that they can't do this. But somewhere, because society in itself and Christianity has said you can't perform ritual magic, you're not supposed to perform magic. It's an abomination. They do this and they sabotage themselves, and they really don't know why, again, because it's on a subconscious level. And again, because Christianity says that the practicing of magic is wrong, and and if you practice magic, you are in leagues with the devil, then they have a problem with it. And again, they don't understand why, because they haven't removed this smokescreen or this shackle from their psyche. And until they do, they probably really won't understand why they're having a problem with it. Okay, but we as Luciferians understand this, and we look to liberate ourselves, and that's one of the importance of the book. And the other one is, we illuminate ourselves as well, and we do this through self-development. We're always studying, we're always learning. We have introspection, and these two things, liberation and illumination, leads to apotheosis. Okay, becoming your own God. Okay, so the book also talks about the 11 points of power of Luciferianism, and just as a brief rundown, it tells us that we're nonconformists, and we are free thinkers. We reject the need for dogma and dogmatic religions. It also states that I and myself have my own opinion and my beliefs, and you and yourself, you have your own opinion and your beliefs. But my beliefs and opinions and your beliefs and opinions are not absolute. Okay, this is the idea. This is an idea that's even shared amongst us as Luciferians, that you can't force a person to adopt your opinion or belief. However, you can share this information, in a healthy and mutual respect for that person, and teach them. And as we increase and share our knowledge base, we again are able to verify and even challenge our own personal beliefs and opinions. And as those opinions are challenged, we now have new knowledge to reform new opinions and beliefs, and in order to replace the ones that no longer serve us. So the other point here, and I'm just kind of going over my transcripts really, is that we don't place blame on others for our actions. Okay, if we have a problem in our life, we accept that, and we accept that our actions, whether past or present, those affect us in the here and now, and those actions have brought us to where we are now. So we never place blame on somebody else, for our own personal mistakes. We accept, and we accept that we are responsible for those actions, or for where we are in our lives. So on page 29 of the book, there is a brief paragraph that I want to go over, and it says it talks about, again, us being accountable for our choices, how we are responsible for our actions and what we choose to do. And it says, goes on to say that you don't seek light. There is already a spark so given to us in lore by fallen angels, such as Samael, Azazel, Satan, and Lucifer. Instead of seeking light, your journey and dedication is will slowly ignite that spark into a luminous fire commonly called the black flame. In time, as a Luciferian, you are the bearer of light, balancing your primal instincts with irrational intelligence to what we call apotheosis. Again, we have this spark within ourselves. It talks about the fallen angels have given us this spark, or they've given us this power to free ourselves, and as we free ourselves, we're able to be a point of light for others, in a sense. And it actually kind of brings me back to a story, an experience I had a few years back. I was talking with a person before I even became a left-handed path practitioner, but being a bearer of light, or a bringer of light, I said to this person, who really happened to be Christian and is still Christian to this day, and I said, in actuality, we as a society, even as individuals, really own a great amount of thanks to Lucifer, the bringer of light. Said, had Eve not been encouraged to eat the apple in the garden, and, in order to become more like God, said we would still be running around naked in ignorance of our own nakedness and our own potential as, free thinkers. And she actually scoffed at the idea that I suggested that, we own it thanks to Lucifer, for that. And, Lucifer is, the bringer of light, and that light is through, free thinking and self-knowledge. It's illumination is what it is. And I continued. I said, no, really. I said, think about it. Without Eve eating that apple, I said we wouldn't even become more like God. We wouldn't have become our own gods. In reality, we wouldn't have learned mathematics, engineering. We wouldn't have learned to create textiles and clothing, or discovered medicine, created houses, automobile, achieved flight. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And she was just completely appalled by the idea that I said all this, in favor of Lucifer, in a sense. And and again, I'm just sharing this information with this person. I said, in the end, I said, if you don't believe that you own what you have today to Lucifer, the bringer of light, then I urge you, leave your world behind today. And I said, leave it. Leave all your clothes, leave your house, leave your job, leave your money, in your pockets, in your bank account, leave your car, all your valuables, your technology, your cell phone, leave it all behind. Go out into the world. Go out into the forest, and live in your nakedness and live in your ignorance. Go out there and weave yourself some garment, made of fig leaves, or hell, if you even want to weave it out of poison ivy, I really don't give a rat's ass. But go ahead and weave yourself some garments, to cover your nakedness, and see for yourself, where you are at that point. If you really don't believe that, we own at least a little bit of our things, or to Lucifer for that happening. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this short, folks. So with that, I say to you, my brothers and sisters, liberate yourself from these shackles that bind you. Liberate and illuminate and achieve your own apotheosis, okay? So with that, I bid you a fond farewell and infernal blessings. Until next time, take care. Bye.